My WWE 2K Micro Universe series is one of, if not the most popular series I have ever had on my channel today. Kind of up there alongside the AEW GM mode, the Raw GM mode, and series like that. And so with that being said, one of the most popular questions that I get all the time around the Micro Universe is, how can I make this myself? How do you do this? Can you take us behind the scenes? Well, you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. So I guess the first thing that you should do when you want to make a Micro Universe series is plan out your episodes in advance. And what I personally use is my notes app in my phone. As you can see, I did with this video as well. It's just really the easiest way to go about it when it's on your iPhone. It's on you all the time. You can always update. If you get any new ideas for storylines, you can go ahead, okay, let me write this down. This is where I want to book this. This is where I want to book that. I book out all the promos in my phone, all the camera angles, all the storylines. So like when you guys saw that first episode where Inferno showed up at NXT TakeOver New York, I already knew how it was going to end in episode 51. And the same goes now for season 2. I know how the Micro Universe prequel is going to end, and I know how season 3 is going to end with Inferno going to main roster as well. So. And other things that I plan in my phone, in my notes app as well, is what promos I need, what angles I'm going to need for like which superstars, how I'm going to position them in the ring for the promos, what attires I'll need to mod in if I am going to be modding in a superstar for a storyline. I'll usually write down when entrances are going to happen. So let's say, for example, if Inferno's cutting a promo and I don't know, Matt Riddle's going to interrupt, I'll say Matt Riddle entrance at this point, or Adam Cole entrance at this point. I'll usually write down the order of the show just so I can kind of understand where I'm going. And now this right here is very special to me because I have never shown anyone this before, but this is the episode 1 script for the Micro Universe, all the way back NXT TakeOver New York, so you can kind of see how I used to plan things back then. It's a little bit cleaner now and a little bit different with how I planned it, but this is the very first script that I ever wrote. Hang this in the freaking museum, okay? Now, I wouldn't be doing a very good job if I didn't go ahead and go into the main star of the Micro Universe, Dante Inferno. Where did he come from? How did I get the name Dante Inferno? What was his character inspirations? So let's go ahead and take a deep dive into Dante Inferno. So as some of you have kind of theorized in the past, is Dante Inferno inspired by the Xbox 360 game Dante's Inferno? He was created and inspired by Dante's Inferno, the game for Xbox 360, which I never really played, but I just thought it sounded cool. And my name is pretty close to Dante, so it's almost like my alter ego, or what I would be like and look like when I become a wrestler. But also he's Inferno because I love fire, I love Kane, and I thought in previous years that my calls for YouTube videos and YouTube series weren't really strong enough. It was kind of just me, like a basic boring character and gimmick, and it weren't really strong enough. And then I thought, okay, Inferno, it's powerful, it makes sense, it's a nice character. I knew this one was gonna work. And I mean, by the way, just so you guys don't think I'm a pyromaniac when I said a minute ago that I love fire, to expand on that, I loved Pokemon as a kid, and I love fire types. They were and still are my favorite. Like, I loved fire types a lot in Pokemon. You know, you look at a Chimchar, an Infernape, a Charizard, a Growlithe, a Cyndaquil. And so some of Inferno's moveset is actually inspired by Pokemon. I mean, where do you think I got the Flame Wheel from? It's literally from the Diamond and Pearl games, so the more you know. Also, can we take a quick second to show some appreciation for Amber Van Sys, the Queen of the Precise, the Canadian Maestro herself, because my girl was here before Dante Inferno, the long forgotten hero and OG of the channel, okay? Without AVC, there would simply be no Dante Inferno. When it comes to the success that the original women's My Career story got back in WWE 2K19, and the blueprint that gave me is the reason why you have the Micro Universe now. So thank you, Amber Van Sys. I love you forever. So I mean, while we're here doing shoutouts and everything, it kind of goes without saying, but one of my biggest inspirations for starting the Micro Universe in WWE 2K20 was simply better AM himself. And I think this was before we were ever even friends, and long before I was ever in Vibe as well, but I saw his Micro Universe videos with AM in NXT against the likes of Gargano, and along with other Vibe members in 2K19 and in 2019 as a whole, and their style is something that really inspired me. Like I said, even before I joined Vibe, which ended up happening a few months after the MCU started, coincidentally enough. But I do distinctly remember watching AM's videos, like his Micro Universe series back in 2K19, and being like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I like this, I like his style of video, I like how he does it, and I wanted to kind of do my own adaptation of that in 2K20, and so I did. Hopefully, I somewhat lived up to AM's reputation and his high standard that he left in 2K19. I like to think I did. You know what, I think it's about time we get down into the real nitty-gritty of the behind the scenes of the MCU, okay? What are some of the biggest secrets of this series? What's changed in the MCU from, you know, the script to the final product? What are some of the things that I knew that you didn't know about the episodes? Let's jump into that. So the first things first for this segment that I want to talk about is that, did you know originally the MCU was supposed to be only 22 episodes long? Because that is right. I know it sounds bizarre now looking at the fact that season 1 has 51 episodes in it, which is insane. But my original plans for for the Micro Universe were only to have it go to the end of NXT TakeOver War Games, where the Inferno won that match against the Undisputed Era and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I remember because I guess really at the time I was kind of like, okay, this is a nice little end to the initial Inferno saga. There will be more, and there will be more Inferno arcs, but this is a nice end to season 1. But due to the popularity of the series at the time and the fact that all you guys were enjoying every single episode, I was kind of just like, you know what, I'm gonna extend this. And even still to this day, I genuinely never expected the series to have this kind of popularity. I kind of decided because it seemed fun to have your own universe and own storylines instead of a standard My Career series, but you guys loved it. And I know it may seem by the tone of my voice right now that I'm like rapping on the My Career universe forever. I'm not done yet, not by a long shot, and I still plan on taking this series even higher and higher, and I have many plans for the upcoming season, so stay tuned. Now this next question is one that I get a lot, okay, and I've confirmed it many times, but I'm gonna answer it right now in front of all of you so you all know. And the question is, does the MCU exist in the same canon timeline as Amber Van Sice's story over there in the Amber Van Sice Chronicles and the Women's My Career story? And the answer is yes, yes they do. When it comes to both of my Career superstars, or whatever you want to call it, Dante Inferno and Amber Van Sice, they both exist in the same timeline. They are both now in NXT. The series aren't at the exact same point in the timeline, but are they both on the same roster at the same time? Yes. I think if I remember correctly, right now Amber Van Sice is heading into WrestleMania weekend, where she's going to be performing at WrestleMania against Tessa Blanchard for the NXT Women's Championship, and that's the same WrestleMania weekend in the Micro Universe where Dante Inferno wins the NXT Championship from Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver Houston. And so they both exist in the same canon timeline, and eventually I will be doing a crossover for both My Career series, but not just yet. Another thing you may not have known about my My Career Universe series is that originally Dante Inferno was almost not Dante Inferno. I had other names drafted. So another name and plan for the My Career Universe that I had going into 2K20, and this was very early on in the development plan. Most of you probably don't even know this name at all, but some of the real OGs of the channel will remember him. Kyle Hunter. I thought about bringing back Kyle Hunter, completely reimagined, because if you don't know, Kyle Hunter was my core back in 2K18 for the My Career story in that game. But eventually I kind of no-noed the idea and vetoed the idea because I thought Kyle Hunter is kind of not really a strong character compared to what Dante Inferno could be, and so maybe in the future we'll bring back Kyle Hunter, but I don't ever see him being his own solo story again. Maybe as a villain in the My Career Universe series or in the universe as a whole, but other names I had drafted for the MCU include Dante Fenro, which is actually the real name, like in the canon timeline of Dante Inferno. Of course, Dante Inferno is his wrestling name, Dante Fenro is his real name, but originally I thought about doing Dante Fenro as his name. Like overall, I thought about doing Deonte DJ and just playing as myself. That would have been kind of boring though. At one point, I thought about using my literal government name and just going as like a professional wrestler all the way from the ground up and kind of simulating what I think my professional wrestling journey would be like in real life if I did become a wrestler. But also that idea kind of sounded boring as well, to be honest. I also thought about calling him Austin Black and bringing back a reimagined version of my core from WWE 2K20. I also almost made Dante a tag team guy, kind of like back in SVR 2011. That was something I really loved doing, being in tag team TLC matches playing with my cousin, and so I almost made Dante Inferno a tag team guy. And finally, this one is real wild, and this was very early in the concept stage for the My Career Universe, but I thought about completely doing a different gimmick to what Inferno would eventually become. I thought about doing a cowboy gimmick and calling him Leviticus and kind of having him be a Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of character, or maybe even like a John Marston, a Dutch Vanderlyn. And honestly, I kind of still love this idea. I may still do this one day and have him go up against Hangman Adam Page. That one is not crossed off the list, to be honest. As we begin to wrap up the video here, let me just show you a few more things from the behind the scenes of the My Career Universe Season 1. Okay, so this right here that you're seeing is actually some other designs I had for the Titantron for Dante Inferno, for Dante Inferno himself, for the entrance. This was very early as well in the planning of the My Career Universe. This is back in 2K19 when I was originally planning out where I wanted Dante Inferno to go, what I wanted his story to look like, and so here's some little behind the scenes clips from that. Just gonna throw in a bonus fact because why the hell not, but did you also know that to pay homage to the original Dante Inferno model, I still have the clip of him as the original Dante Inferno all the way back from that prototype in 2K19 in my outro screen of every single video. Well, here's what I'll say about the end of the My Career Universe. There definitely is an ending that I have in mind for Dante Inferno. Well, two endings actually that I could go with, either happy or sad endings, but I don't really want you guys to think about it either way, like whether I go with the happy ending or the sad ending. Like, don't even think about that right now because there's still so many seasons of content I have planned out, so I don't expect Inferno's story to be finished until at least 2K25 or 26 if those games even happen. There's still plenty of opponents, feuds, game releases, companies, brands, factions, gimmicks, etc. And not to mention the AW console game is literally on the horizon, so even if in a year from now we look back in this video and I've completely lost all trust in WWE 2K because 2K 2K22 stinks, if there's one thing we can hold our hat on, if there's one thing we can hold on to with a little bit of hope, it's that Inferno in his next chapter will be all elite.